How's it, guys? Welcome back to Cult Action Reviews, where we look at the weird, the wonderful, and the downright terrible of the action film universe. Do any of you remember Dragon Ball? I'm sure you do. It's one of the most influential animes of all time, and when it hit America in the 90s, it just blew up. People loved it, kids loved it. It went all over the world, even reaching South Africa, where I grew up. A lot of kids loved Dragon Ball. It was a huge franchise. So of course, Hollywood had to make a live-action version.
This spring, the battle for our world.
Who are you?
Which gave us one of the worst films of all time, Dragon Ball Evolution. But what if I told you there was another live-action version of Dragon Ball that's 100 times better than the American version? Not only is it better, it's more entertaining and just downright insane. And that's the film we're going to look at today. Made in Taiwan and released in 1991, Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins had no money, none whatsoever. This was made on a budget of a packet of crisps and a bag of silly string. Despite that, however, it is one of the most entertaining movies I've seen in a very long time, and I'm going to show you why. Today we won't be watching the 1991 version, however. We'll be watching the Ultimate Edition, which was released in 2000 and had some extra stuff added, like the opening title sequence, which has the derpiest early 2000s CGI dragon I've seen. Isn't he adorable? We open on a village that's going to inaugurate their new chief as he's getting married, which means he gets the village's special Dragon Ball, their treasure. But as always, aliens from outer space ruin everything and crash the ceremony, immediately trying to kill every single person in the village in pursuit of the Dragon Ball. I love these stupid looking CGI spaceships. They are adorably made, modeled, and rendered. Just look at them floating through the sky and blowing shit up. But what I do like, however, is how all the explosions are obviously not CGI. They're just blowing up huts with abandon here. And check out this acting. Oh no, my village is being exploded. Whatever shall I do? The chief urges his people to run while he protects the Dragon Ball. Why he doesn't just follow them is beyond me. But he goes into the temple with all the monks to pray that the aliens go away. And that goes swimmingly for all his people, as you can see here and here as they're just getting massacred. I love this cut here, which makes it look like the villagers all turn into the evil aliens. But no, it's just bad editing. And as the bad guys appear, including Silver, Goldie, and their team of medieval knights, you can see how well the prayer is working for all the villagers. Yep, prayer worked great for them, didn't it? Poor bastards. And as it becomes painfully obvious that prayer isn't working for anyone in the village, the main bad guy appears, the king. And I gotta admit, I adore these ropey ass looking costumes. Aren't they amazing? This is a part of the 90s that we just don't get anymore. He looks great. And I think the Ultimate Edition added the lightning effects coming off of him to make him look more intimidating. He doesn't look intimidating, but hey, at least he looks cool. In a shocking turn of events, prayer doesn't work for the village leader either, which means the big baddie, King, gets his Dragon Ball. And then we get some exposition. King has 2 Dragon Balls. He needs 7. With 7, he can grant his wish. And if you don't know Dragon Ball lore, basically you have these magical MacGuffins called Dragon Balls that are scattered around the world. Get 7 of them and you can summon the derpy dragon from the opening titles. By summoning him, he will grant you 1 wish, and it can be whatever you want. So, of course, this is what the baddie wants, and this is what the good guys need to stop him from doing. Speaking of the good guys, we're now introduced to our hero, Goku. And I love this choice here to simulate the anime spiky hair with 80s perms. I think it's friggin' adorable. Now we get some more exposition. Goku's grandpa senses that there's a disturbance in the Force. the bad guys are coming. And these two also have a Dragon Ball. And Goku has a magical pole. It's quite a big pole actually, but it's not that kind of pole, it's this kind of pole. And with his magical pole, he promises his grandpa that he'll protect the balls. The Dragon Balls.
The Dragon Pearl and the Magic Pole are precious family treasures.
We now get the first fight of the movie, where Goku's grandpa shows that he has no qualms about beating the ever-loving shit out of his own grandson. And we see that the fights in this film are going to be pure 80s, 90s Taiwan cinema. Lots of wires, lots of jumping around flying, lots of screaming, and lots of really cool looking martial arts shots. And because this is Dragon Ball, there's also some real weirdness, like how Goku turns into Bugs Bunny here. What's up, Doc? We also get an idea of what the humor in this film is going to be like. And honestly, if you're in the mood for it, it's not that bad. It's stupid, mindless slapstick, like this. And most of the film will have asides where they have silly, humorous moments.
Yeah, the sun's out, but how come there are so many stars here?
Having proven his worth to his grandpa, Goku decides to go hunting in the most overpowered way possible. Yep, he just flies through the forest to get to the hunting grounds. He also feeds monkeys, which I think is a reference to the fact that Goku can turn into a massive monkey in the original Dragon Ball anime and in the mangas. But you won't see that here. Goku doesn't even have his tail. In fact, in the English dub, he's called Monkey Boy. But this is just to skirt around copyright. This is definitely Goku. As you can see when he fights the world's fakest looking croc. Because only Goku would be able to take on a crocodile with nothing but his pole in his hands. Side note, I love how in the English dub, they actually dubbed the croc. And as Goku carries his prize back to his grandpa's cabin, we enter the badass, gun-toting, fashion-loving heroine of the Dragon Ball franchise, Bulma. Here depicted with a submachine gun, a really stupid cowboy outfit, and a Dragon Ball tracking device. But, shock, horror, as she's tracking down the Dragon Ball, the bad guys appear, driving APCs. And I realized at this point what the bad guys' army of robots, or whatever alien dudes, looks like. Really budget discount Cylons. I mean, these guys wouldn't even sell at Goodwill type budget. We also get this moment where Bulma says,
"And you're dressed funny as well."
"Girl, have you looked in a mirror lately?" And as Bulma drives off in pursuit of the Dragon Balls and the bad guys, she shows that she is kinda heartless. Because instead of stopping when she sees a child crossing the road, she speeds up and tries to run him over. And then when he manages to stop the car with his super strength that she didn't know he'd have, by the way, she then tries to shoot the poor bastard. Christ, woman, you just opened fire on a teenager walking through the forest that you yourself tried to run over in your Jeep.
He's alive!
Then, after trying to bust a cap in a teenager's ass, she has the cheek to blame him for everything that just happened. Goku then, understandably weirded out by this, thinks she's a witch, after which Bulma utters this line.
Do I look like a witch?
No, Bulma, actually you look like a Timu cowgirl. We then find out a little bit about Goku's character. Apparently he's never seen a girl before.
You're different from me. Of course we're different. You're a boy and I'm a girl, you know.
Unfortunate for him that the first one he ever sees opens up with an SMG on his ass, but, you know, that sometimes happens when you meet girls for the first time. He also tells Bulma about the Dragon Balls, and they have a bit of back and forth about this. And then they decide to go back to his grandpa's house. But oh no, the baddies have gotten there first. And the baddies try and take on Goku's grandpa to get the Dragon Ball. And we have this pretty cool fight. as there's lots of shooting and explosions and fire and all kinds of stuff going on. Unfortunately, Grandpa and the Dragon Ball get taken. Goku shows up too late and, thinking his grandpa dead, collapses to his knees and promises that he'll get the Dragon Ball back from the bad guys. And in true gung-ho Goku fashion, he decides that he's just going to friggin' run after the bad guys. Bulma thinks this is a bad idea, plucks Goku out of the air, puts him in her jeep, and they speed off after the Dragon Ball. We then have a very budget Mad Max Fury Road scene, where Goku and Bulma catch up to the bad guys. There's lots of shooting and explosions, but the gist of it is that Goku deflects bullets with his pole, and then the jeep gets exploded. After a quick outfit change for Bulma, Goku and Bulma choose to pursue the bad guys on an elephant. The world's fastest mode of transport, I think you'll agree. And since riding an elephant is taking these guys forever to catch up to the bad guys, we have exposition into Goku's backstory. He was found in the woods by his grandpa who raised him. He's an orphan with no family. And this is also from the anime. Goku is actually from space. He's an alien. And his grandpa found him in the forest and raised him as his own. After that, we cut to this scene. And, oh dear. Oh dearie me. Do I really have to explain why this makeup is so problematic? And it actually gets worse. This pig is chasing this child to force her into marriage. And this child is actually from the beginning of the movie. She's the village chief's daughter. But thankfully, Goku shows up to stop this pig from forcing this child into marriage, and then the pig takes a shine to Bulma. Ah man, this ain't Percy Pig. This is Pervy Pig.
I want this big lady here.
We then have a long extended scene with Pervy Pig, but the gist of it is that Pervy Pig is magically inclined. He offers some interesting services in exchange for joining the party.
I've got other skills, and one of them is I know magic. I can change into other things. Me.
Who's that?
And there's some slapstick, and it seems to take forever. But basically, Pervy Pig joins Goku, Bulma, and the village chief's daughter to go after the Dragon Balls. We then get this. A gunfighter makes a surprise appearance. And this is supposed to be Yamcha, which is funny because this is obviously a kid cosplaying Clint Eastwood and has his mustache drawn on. Brilliant stuff. He also has a parrot, and he's obviously riffing on Clint Eastwood because in the English dub, he's called Westwood. But Yamcha's actually a bandit. He's here for money or your life kind of thing. And we get another brilliantly funny fight scene during which we riff on Bruce Lee. There's a lot of acrobatics, flips, shooting, and Goku waving his massive pole about. And you'll notice something during this fight scene. At a lot of the time, wires are visible. But I'm not going to give this movie shit for it, because again, this movie had almost no budget. What I will give this movie shit for is this next bit. Because when this happened, I cry laughed. Yep, that's right. Goku and Yamcha punch each other so hard that they turn into CGI characters. Bulma inadvertently ends the fight by just appearing. And Yamcha is so stricken by her beauty that he decides to run away. I'm the same with girls, mate. Don't worry about it.
This is the first time I've seen a man who's so excited about me.
Yamcha runs away and swears he'll fight Goku again just when there are no pretty girls about to put the fear of God into him. So with Pervy Pig, the girl from the village, Bulma and Goku all together and having formed a D&D party, they decide that they need to get the Dragon Balls to prevent the bad guys from getting them. And to do this, they decide to seek out legendary Master Roshi.
My mother told me to go to the Turtle Man. Only he can kill the monster.
Oh, did you say Turtle Man?
That's right.
The reason they want to seek out Roshi is he's the best at Kung Fu. So they can find him and he'll maybe know what to do. The baddies obviously overhear this conversation, so they're going to go after Master Roshi too. And it turns out that Yamcha has a Dragon Ball, obviously. Everyone in this movie seems to have one. And he wants to collect all the Dragon Balls because he wants to make a wish that I'm sure many of us can relate to.
I don't need money, and I don't want fame, and I don't want fortune. I want the dragon to give me courage, so I don't shiver in front of women.
He wants to wish to be able to talk to pretty girls.
I don't understand, man.
We're now introduced to Master Roshi and his frankly terrible CGI turtle head. Brilliant stuff, guys. This film is hilarious. He actually has the Nimbus Cloud, which is from the anime. This thing is basically a cloud that you can fly on. We then have a lot of random fighting and slapstick. Basically, Yamcha's plan is to tell Master Roshi that Goku is a bad guy and wants to fight him. This doesn't work, basically because Master Roshi sees Bulma and pervs all over her and decides that because she's so beautiful, Yamcha must be lying.
Don't be afraid. You're such a cute little thing.
Yes, I'm terrified, to be honest. In order to find out whether Yamcha is lying or Goku is lying, Master Roshi does a dance number. Goku can ride Nimbus Cloud, and the cloud decides that he's pure, so because he's pure of heart, he's obviously the good guy, and Roshi sides with Goku, and Yamcha is shunned. I love how nobody has any real urgency in this quest. They're just kind of bumming around, which is very like the source material actually. And of course it turns out that Master Roshi has a Dragon Ball. As Yamcha legs it, Roshi decides that in order for him to give the Dragon Ball over to the good guys, he wants to see Bulma naked. Of course, it's a very long, uncomfortable, slapstick, pervy, awful aside, but in the end, Pig turns into Bulma with his magic, Yoshi sees her boobs, and he gives over the Dragon Ball. This man is way too excited to see boobs. I mean, really, way too excited.
She's so sexy. She's just incredible.
Which, again, is really on brand for his character.
You sure need a strong heart.
And since the good guys have been stuffing about for what seems like ages, the bad guys appear at Master Roshi's island, and we have more action, shooting, explosions, and it's actually kind of cool. Apart from the ropey effects, this kind of stuff is just awesome, guys. Everyone's shooting, everything's blowing up. It's great stuff. Unfortunately, however, the good guys are useless, so they end up losing their Dragon Balls and legging it.
Let's go. He's right. If we stay here, we'll just get killed.
My grandpa!
If you want revenge, then you have to stay alive.
And then Master Roshi blows up some ships with some magic, and then he too blows up. The bad guys get the Dragon Balls and blow up his island. So this didn't work out great for anyone involved, except for the bad guys. And now that the baddies have almost all the Dragon Balls, they have a brilliant plan. They'll just wait for the rest of the Dragon Balls to come to them.
Don't worry about it. Now I possess 6 Dragon Pearls. I believe whoever has the 7th pearl will come and deliver himself to us, you know.
And the funny thing is, this does turn out to be a brilliant plan. Because back on the mainland, it turns out Master Roshi is alive and Pig has a Dragon Ball. And the good guys' brilliant plan is to take that Dragon Ball straight to the bad guy so that they can fight him and get the other Dragon Balls back. Not often you have a movie where the bad guy sitting down and doing nothing is actually a great plan for him to get what he wants.
But still, my house is destroyed, and my Dragon Pearl stolen. These people will not get away with this.
But I won't complain, because at least the movie's not stuffing around. So now the heroes know where 6 Dragon Balls are, and Yamcha takes some convincing, but is finally persuaded to do the right thing and join the good guys' quest to stop the evil bad guys from getting all the Dragon Balls. Because now we're speeding into the climax, and Pig becomes Timu Rambo. The climax is actually wonderfully entertaining. The golden henchwoman gets into a fight with Goku and Yamcha, and Pig ends up filling her full of lead to put her down for good. The silver henchman gets into a fight with Master Roshi, and Bulma blows him the fuck up. All the heroes get into an all-out magic fight with the main baddie, King, and it turns out that Grandpa's actually still alive, and King uses him for leverage to get his hands on the next Dragon Ball.
Give me the pearl or I'll kill him.
Wait, did I say uses him for leverage? No, he doesn't actually do that. What he does is throws Goku's grandfather on the ground and takes the more obvious route to get the Dragon Ball. He raises the dead. In this case, everyone who died in the opening village fight. The blue filter is supposed to represent that all these guys are zombies, obviously. Although they're hardly George A. Romero zombies. They're not very threatening. All they're doing is waving their arms about and pulling at people's hair. It's quite funny, actually. And as the zombies are about to overwhelm them, Nimbus Cloud comes to the rescue. Our heroes can't actually beat King in a fight, but it turns out what he did was eat all the Dragon Balls to keep them safe. So all they have to do is stuff the 7th down his throat so that all the Dragon Balls combine together and then he'll blow up. So we have more fighting, more magic, and then they finally get King to eat the last Dragon Ball. After which he turns into a Christmas tree decoration, and then teleports away onto a ship in an attempt to save himself, but it doesn't work. He explodes. And then with the 7 Dragon Balls united, the Wish Dragon comes out of the sky and they wish for the village to be restored. And it all ends happily ever after, with the young girl getting her entire village back unharmed. And there ends Dragon Ball, The Magic Begins, with all smiles, including a smile on my face, actually, because this movie was great fun. Despite the fact that it had no budget, was made in 1991 in Taiwan by a bunch of people who just wanted to make a fun film and didn't actually have the rights to Dragon Ball, it is so much better than the overblown, over-stupid American version. It's also a lot more faithful to the source material. If you like Dragon Ball, or you like out there kung fu movies, you'll enjoy Dragon Ball The Magic Begins. It is so much fun, and just a great time from start to finish, which is exactly the kind of film I look for on Cult Action Reviews. So until next time, keep watching action movies, guys. They'll keep you healthy. Today my filming was interrupted by this fool who decided it was a good idea to make noise in the middle of things. Hey, cats, am I right?
Oh my goodness, they're coming at us again. Let's go!